Except for it's Monday. So that way we start getting more girls.
I know.
That's probably got a second.
Are you here for,
Just like
are you here for the fun?
First time I've seen him.
Well, that's why, where did you go?
You gotta have something that we use as a gamble.
High heels, is that you have pair of high heels?
I usually do change.
Everybody's got tennis shoes on.
Uses a gamble, bring a hammer.
I did not.
You might have to knock, Mindy.
Call to order the Fulton City Council meeting of November 25th, 2024. Roll call, please, Tori.
Mayor Pro Tem Mindy,
Here.
Alderperson Brondike, Mask,
Here.
Boonstra,
Here.
Burgraff,
Here.
Van Campen, here, King, Wilkin,
Here.
Banker.
And I'll just state that I will be voting as an alderperson tonight. All right, pledge of allegiance, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll move on to presentations. I have noted Scott Hutchinson. I don't see that he's here.
It does not look like he is here. Just a brief thing on that, Mayor Pro Tem Burgraff. Scott did approach me via telephone and wanted to speak to the council. He is interested in selling his 3 lots down by behind the meat market and across the street from the Drives building. He just wanted to make you aware of that. He wants to do that.
Is that the house?
The house, and he has the house and 2 other lots.
He's selling the whole parcel,
Yes.
because he just recently bought more land from Gene Field to the east
He
side.
told me the 3 parcels, right?
So that includes what he just bought as well?
I didn't know he just purchased that. He just told me 3 where he has his home, behind his home, and I guess across the alleyway.
Is that on the same block as the apartments?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So it's just north of it.
So
Interesting.
I guess you're aware of it. He didn't show tonight to give you any more details, so I don't know any more details.
It's nice that he brought it to us first.
Yep.
Would we want to send that to the Economic Development Committee to consider?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a historic.
Tori?
Okay. Mayor Wendy asked me to read this letter to the council. I'm going to try to come up here, so hopefully everybody can hear me. I got this afternoon, and she submitted her letter of resignation, and I am reading this verbatim, not changing anything. So here goes. To the heads of departments, citizens, and council members, this letter is to inform you that I am resigning my position as mayor of Fulton on Monday, the 30th of December, 2024. I will not be involved in the creating of the council packet, and you will have to call Tori, Tammy, or Allie for any additions to the packet itself. The transition for you to make a choice for Mayor Pro Tem, which is Mindy right now, but she may not want the position. It must be accepted by the council members and put in place by a motion. There are signatures for checks that need to be changed, etc. When this is complete, I will only be returning as a citizen. I want to thank the HODs, staff, and clerk for being so supportive during my tenure. Many of you, I hope to continue our relationship as friends. We are very blessed in this community with hard work, caring, and those who have ownership of each of their respective duties. I believe the council members have no idea how hard they work. Please, in the future, read their job descriptions and do not ask them to do your tasks beyond those descriptions. These employees are not your administrative assistants. They do not make copies for you. They do not need to find addresses for a gathering you are having, and they especially do not go to your homes to fix your IT issues. How rude to ask them to do your chores. I feel what we have accomplished over the last 3.5 years has been significant. Since I began as mayor, we have sold all the land in the industrial park, started and completed Fulton's Friendship Park. With the help of generous donation from the Kiwanis, a band shall now exist at Drives Park. The Fun Crew was created, and with that, an event happens every month, and sometimes twice a month. This nonprofit group has done more for Fulton than anyone for a long time. My resignation will allow me to keep my status as vice president for this group. The group puts all of our money right back into Fulton. We are now helping the Kiwanis with the Queen of Hearts at Kingpins every Wednesday. We have decided our first project will be for a splash pad at Drives Park. Nonprofits should never hold money in reserves if you are not spending it for the goal your group was created for. That is called tax evasion. Spring of 2025, the huge project of finally renovating the downtown will begin. Everything is in place and ready. This project has been a long time coming. This project will be left in the capable hands of the Public Works Director, Eric Sikkema. Through many meetings, including Chief Nick, Tammy, Allie, Eric, and most important, Tori Wade and I have been working with Lynn Roth to get a customer-friendly, user-friendly for the operator and to give the public the most up-to-date news. My acquaintance with Senator Wynn Stoller has given us funds for 2 digital signs to keep the public informed immediately when events happen. We are finally coming out of the dark ages and stepping into the light called the future. We have also created a relationship with Simple Grants, and we are waiting to hear back about $2 million for the downtown renovation. I implore you to stay the course and not let them go. This opportunity will be vital for the new CA and mayor to keep up with the latest grants and timelines available for our community. We are somewhat at a quandary when it comes to grants because of our ratio to high income to very low income. It is harder to get grants for this reason. The cost only applies when you have invested. The cost only applies when you have invested in the search for a specific grant. Then they only charge for that search itself. The more they do for us, the less time it will take for them to gather our information, which gives us savings that is quite beneficial. They do not charge a monthly fee, and they go as fast or as slow as you choose to go forward. This tool cannot be tossed aside if we are to receive any more grant money. Please, 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 talk to me first if you don't understand. I attended the IML conference, which provided us with allowing us to cover the many events we have at no cost to the group. I brought this up at the beginning of my tenure, and a council member accused me of lying. What a waste of 2 years without savings. We have put in place a code officer, which according to Chief Nick, has done more in the last 6 months for Fulton than we have done in the last 10 years. Due to a constant lack of faith, trust, and not being able to work within the rules of the state of Illinois and the guidance of the IML, when I stepped on board, we are still not compliant with our closed minutes. The lack of acknowledgement of what we have accomplished by all departments has given me no other choice than to resign. The stress of constantly being questioned and challenged at every turn has made me wary of trying to do my best. Our success comes from not one person, but from a positive energy that most of us share. When I ran for mayor, my platform consisted of these 3 words: positive, practical, productive. I remain steadfast to these directives. It is funny, I think if you ask any of the citizens, they will agree I ran my tenure that way. It is just too bad that some of our council members couldn't adhere to these views. I wish success for Fulton's future. Remember, acknowledging good work is your best tool to get the best workers and leaders. Sincerely, Wendy K. Ottens. P.S. I also wanted you to know another reason is I will have no part in hiring a CA or chief of police. I had nothing to do with this. This is not Allie's job description either. Look out, Personnel Committee.
Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome. There are copies available of this letter if you'd like one.
Thank you. All right, seeing there's no appointments, no recognitions, any communication from visitors, Tori?
No.
I guess I'd just take a moment and say thanks to Mayor Ottens for all that she did in her time here, for her decision-making and choosing to cut that time short is unfortunate, but we will do what we need to do to move forward as a council and as a city to keep things progressing for our citizens and for our community. So we're just gonna move on here. The consent agenda is the next item up. This is to approve the regular meeting minutes from November 13th, 2024. City council meeting, pages 5 through 11 in your packet, and the zoning board of appeals minutes on page 12.
I made the motion, all the minutes. Took you a little time, I think, to do those. The minutes. Good job.
And a second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderperson Boonstra,
Yes.
Wilkin,
Yes.
Banker, Mass.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burgraff,
Yes.
Van Campen,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Brondike.
Okay. Number 9 is motion to approve the council to begin researching the position of a city administrator to fit the needs of our size.
Yes.
Second for discussion. Okay. No second?
Motion died.
Motion is denied, okay. Moving on. Motion to approve the tax levy ordinance, the TMA explained at the last meeting, it's in your packet on pages 13 to 17.
So moved.
Wilkin.
Roll call, please, Tori.
Alderperson Mask,
Oh, I'm sorry, any discussion before we move forward on that? No? Okay, go ahead.
Alderperson Mask, Mayor Pro Tem Berggraf,
Yes,
Baker, Brondike, King,
Yes.
Wilkins,
Yes.
Van Campen,
Yes.
Boonstra.
Yes.
okay. Motion to approve an ominous vote abating the tax levied for the year 2024 for principal and interest general obligation bonds, taxable series 2012B, 2019, and 2020. Motion for discussion?
King.
Wilkin.
Any discussion on those items? Tammy, you just want to reiterate, this is what we have to do each year to,
Yes, of course, you just passed the tax levy, and that is pretty set in stone. We can only go up to 105% unless you want a public hearing, truth in taxation, and raise it above the limit set forth by our property taxes. And the second one is abating the bonds. That means we are not asking the citizens to pay for our bonds. We have funds available that are paying for them instead of coming out of your property taxes.
thank you. Did you do roll call on that one, Tori?
Sure. Alderperson Wilkin,
Yes.
Baker, Mayor Pro Tem Berggraf,
Yes.
Boonstra,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Van Campen,
Yes.
Mask,
Yes.
Brondike.
Motion to approve the annual employee Christmas bonuses and a Christmas luncheon to be held on December 11th, 2024.
King.
Van Campen.
Do we have numbers for these?
The council generously, a couple of years ago, approved the full-time Christmas bonuses for $400 per employee and $200 for part-time per employee. We've actually had a Christmas luncheon, I can't say forever. We used to do a Christmas in July. We have not done that for several years. A Christmas luncheon generally comes in around $400, which is for all the employees and for the elder persons and the mayor. So
Sounds good to me.
we haven't decided where we were gonna go. It's usually, you're talking pizza versus Don Julio's.
Should we make a
Don't
motion for
know
Don
yet.
Julio's?
Yeah, I say go down Williams.
It'd be nice since we're a new business too.
Any discussion before we go roll call? No? Go ahead, Tori.
Alderperson Van Campen,
Yes.
Wilkin,
Yes.
Mask,
Yes.
Boonstra,
Yes.
Brondike, King,
Yes.
Baker, Mayor Pro Tem Berggraf.
Yes. All right. Motion to approve overtime for Chief Ebling at time and a half above the 85 hours per pay period from October 1st to present.
King.
Do we land on a direct figure on that, Tammy?
Well, up to right now, it's right at around $5,800 in overtime pay. So we just needed to know if you wanted to go that route at time and a half, a different amount. This is actually in the hands of the council. This is above his 85 to 90 hours that he has to put in for chief police.
I think we discussed the time and a half pay last meeting.
Everybody was pretty okay with it? Yeah. Okay.
Time and a half.
Yeah. Tori, you want to do roll call?
Alderperson Mask,
Yes.
Boonstra,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Brondike, Mayor Pro Tem Burgraff,
Yes.
Wilkin,
Yes,
Van Campen,
Yes.
Baker.
Next up is the motion to approve an ordinance for the purchase of the Callion property located at 4th Street and 10th Avenue for $2,501. Motion
Yes.
for discussion? Second?
King.
I read through this purchase agreement, looks pretty straightforward to me.
Isn't the two parking lots too behind it?
Yes.
So it's everything that we sold then?
Any questions or further discussion on it before we do roll call? Okay. Tori, go ahead.
Alderperson Van Campen,
Yes.
Banker, Mask,
Yes.
Wilkin,
yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Burgraff,
Yes.
Boonstra,
Yes.
Brondike, King.
Yes.
So that was for the ordinance. This is for the actual real estate contract between Callion's Investments LLC and the city of Fulton. Motion to discuss?
Boonstra. King.
Same deal, everybody's good? Go ahead, Tori.
Alderperson Banker, Boonstra,
Yes.
Brondike, Mayor Pro Tem Burgraff,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Mask,
Yes.
Van Campen,
Yes.
Wilkin,
yes,
Motion to approve part-time police officer pay increase from $25 per hour to $30 to $35 to be determined by the council in this discussion. Motion to discuss?
Boonstra.
Wilkin,
Nick, do you want to speak to this a little bit?
Again, as I previously brought up in the last meeting, Morrison's currently at $30 an hour for their part-time officers. My recommendation to the council is for you guys to make a determination at the same, or if you wanted to go a little bit higher in an effort to try to recruit some part-time certified officers from the area to help get through some hurdles that are potentially in the future. That, again, my recommendation is somewhere between the 30 and 35. I wouldn't go above that, so.
Do you have a dollar recommendation for us specifically or no?
You can ask the part-time officers out there in the world, they're gonna say 35, so, I mean, it's, like I said, I wouldn't go anything above 35.
What's our pool of part-time officers available? Is there?
2 right now, but really only 1.
Are you those FTO certified?
Which, you don't have to be certified in the state as an FTO, you just have to be part of the, at least have the experience to facilitate the FTO program, but there is no certification course set by Let's-Be for the FTO program. Which is the FTO being the field training officer, which would be the person who would supervise the new employees. And that would be also beneficial in trying to recruit potential part-time officers who have good experience that they can help foster the training if need be with the new officers, so.
Well, I know that we're due for some negotiations on this matter for our full-time police in January, so I think we know that we're in need of a market adjustment there. So I think it would only follow suit that we're gonna need a market adjustment here as well, so that's my consideration on the matter, but open.
I couldn't hear you.
I've said I understand that in January, we're gonna have negotiations for our full-time officers and that there is a market adjustment needed there. So I would assume that's the case for our part-time that we're seeking as well, as we need to overcome some of the shortages in our scheduling and things like that, so I would be okay with the recommendation, but open for discussion.
I'd say like 32.50. If you go to 30, you got a town that's down the road, what's gonna entice them to come over to help us out at $30 an hour when they're already at?
Tammy, where does the money come from then?
Well, this will come out of the police salary budget. I just want to make the council aware of actually $30 to $35 is cheap compared to us having to pay time and a half for overtime.
My next question was.
You know, you're probably talking right around right around anywhere from $50 to $60 per hour for overtime.
Our average overtime rate, which is our billable rate, is $55 an hour.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Put it at $32.50?
I think that we can do that, and if we need to reassess, then we can up it again.
Tori?
Alderperson Van Campen,
Yes.
Wilkin,
Yes.
Mask,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Vergra,
Yes.
Brondike, King,
Yes.
Banker, Boonstra.
Yes.
Okay. Our last motion for the evening here, motion to approve a variance recommended for approval by the Zoning Board of Appeals Committee for a property located at 1210 10th Avenue owned by Mark Boardman to allow an additional 16 feet more than allowed 24 feet accessory building, an additional 16 square feet over the allowed 960 square feet. Doesn't make any sense to anybody.
16 feet by 1 foot.
Yeah. I believe it was their recommendation to pass that. Adam?
Yes.
Yes.
Van Campen.
King.
Any discussion? Questions for Adam? Okay. Tori?
Alderperson King,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Vergra,
Yes.
Banker, Mask,
Yes.
Van Campen,
Yes.
Wilkin,
Yes.
Boonstra,
Yes.
Brondike.
All right, moving on to committee of the whole discussion. First item up is the credit card acceptance for billing at City Hall and the Police Department. Were you talking about this, Sally?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So the ability to pay with cards and online has been a pretty big ask of people. So the state has a program through the Treasurer's Office to allow us to accept cards. The fee is 2.3% or $1 minimum, and we can pass that on to the customer. But they will set up our online payments for us. They'll give us a free machine. There's free customer service. I did put out a thing on our MCI trunk line that Tori and I are part of. And I heard back from 2 clerks, and both of them say that they highly recommend it, and customer service has been great.
You get a lot of requests for these?
Yeah.
I hear it a lot.
So this would be the ability to pay with a card in the city hall and also online?
Yes. Yeah.
Stepping into the new age.
So what do we need to do to get that going?
We just need to give them the okay, sign some stuff.
So put it on the next agenda for a motion? Okay. And then I guess we should decide, I would assume we plan to pass that fee along, the 2.3%?
A processing fee, yeah.
Anything else on that? Yep. All right. Update on the downtown revitalization.
Both Eric and I are gonna just talk a little bit about this. We met with Will and Hoffman the other day, and I passed out the light pole design that is the updated one. And then the design of downtown for the 2 blocks that we're going to start this spring. And keep in mind, you see, I know it's been asked, right now the one design for the downtown, it is one way. That is something in the future you're going to have to decide whether you want it one way or 2 way. This one-way is coming off the Fulton Bridge and heading north instead of the opposite way. You can see the parking spots there. And of course, like I said, the light poles is the smaller sheet. On the light pole, you have the lower light for pedestrian walking, the higher light on the right-hand side for the street light, and then on the left-hand side, that is your speaker for your sound system. It also has the banner brackets and a flagpole holder, all kinds of bells and whistles. As far as a cost yet, we're waiting any time now for that to come in.
Yeah, we are looking to go out for bid for purchase of the streetlights themselves. And we're gonna buy them all at once to utilize the grant that we already have. So that will actually be coming sooner than the actual sidewalk project, but we're gonna take delivery of all the streetlights. And then, as the project comes along, then they can use them all as they need, so.
That $107,000 grant, is that what you're speaking of? So that'll cover all the lighting, or?
I don't know that yet for sure, yeah, we're just
How many do we
waiting.
need?
16 if I remember it.
Yes, I think so.
Is there gonna be electrical in these?
Not in the poles themselves, so there will actually be stands that will go, well, there's one that'll go by Denio's, there'll be another one down here by Manny's. And then there's a ground box where we just, if there's an event of some sort, you plug the stand in and then you would have all the power you would need, compared to like what's been done in the past with Dutch Days and everybody, having to find an electrician to hook all the boxes up. This would just be something we would store down in Public Works, we plug it in and you're good to go.
We didn't want the electrical on the poles due to the fact that anybody could plug into that, like if you lived in one of the apartments or something, you just never know.
Right.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
So can you refresh me on the time frame? Like what's happening this spring?
So this spring will be electrical lighting and sidewalk.
I'm sorry, what was that at first?
The electrical and the lighting.
Okay.
So all that will get put in the same time they do the curb and gutter and sidewalk. So they're gonna do all that this spring/summer. And then hopefully we will hear from that $2 million grant, and fingers crossed if it works out, then the whole project will be a go. So we're just in limbo on that right now, but.
So that would still happen this summer, but if not, then we'll hold off on the actual road until the following.
We're considering this phase 1 to get the sidewalk and the streetlights done to utilize the grant that we have. And then hopefully we get that grant money, then we're considering that phase 2, and then we can do the water main and the rest of it, so fingers crossed.
Good stuff.
So when would phase 1 here be done?
Timeline would be up to the engineer, but I mean, my guess is their timeline would probably be, they would have till October, November to be complete. I don't foresee them taking that long, but I mean, it's up to the contractors, so.
So October of 25.
Yep.
And it says here, construction April
Starting.
Yeah.
starting, is that gonna interfere with Dutch Days?
Well, that'll be just dependent on whoever gets the contract. That's ideally we'd want them to start sooner than later, but that's up to the contractor to, make those arrangements.
Anything else on that topic?
Now, okay, April is the sidewalks and the lighting. Okay, now if they do the infrastructure, that's not gonna tear up anything if we get them put in, is it?
No, so there might be a couple squares here and there, but nothing that would affect major sections of the sidewalk. It would just be one square here or there in front of a business and, minimal disturbance to a business.
Okay.
Isn't it usually that the street gets done first and then those other things get done?
you know, it all depends on the projects, you know, some like this, the water main doesn't hinder us from moving forward with it, so that's why we're more opting to at least get moving with it. But some places they put the water main right underneath the sidewalk, so I mean, it just kind of depends where you're at. Luckily for us, it's further out into the road, so we can still move forward and make something happen downtown.
Is there like benches and trash cans or anything like that?
I think there is some benches, I don't remember where I saw those at, but there are some benches and some receptacles, and there might have been a flower pot or two that would
I think
be
that'll
incorporated.
come in phase 2 and completion.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Thanks for the update.
Next up is the FOP negotiations and moving forward. I'm gonna need some direction on this.
Okay. Basically why this was put in here, and now you know the fate of our mayor. So Mayor Pro Tem, you will definitely generally be on the negotiation team. You will have to pick, I would recommend at least 2 other older persons to sit with you. Unfortunately, Alderperson Boonstra, we have to leave you out.
Well, for a good reason.
Yes, so that will be yours to decide within the next meeting or so. Negotiations, I do expect for you to receive a letter, probably the first week in January. You might even well, it's so hard with the holidays of getting together with your team. As we discussed, and I think we're going to discuss more moving down when we discuss the police department down here. We'll get a little bit into that more detail, what you're going to be looking at.
Why don't we just go ahead and do that? We can skip over
Yes,
them right and come back. So TMA was referencing discussing the police department, the manpower, future, and restructure.
Okay,
We forgot the discuss.
we're gonna come back to
Oh,
that.
sorry.
That's right. We met with the finance committee, myself, Chief Neblin, Eric Alley, Alderperson King, and Mayor Pro Tem Burgraff the other day. And we kind of got swayed on what we were really going to go in and talk about. Because it's come to, we definitely need to do something with the police department. Now, we are looking for direction from the council. And I think maybe you can fill them in kind of on our finance. I didn't see any minutes in here, that's why I didn't really put anything in there. Are we going to fix and repair our police department? Are we going to find them the funding that they need to survive, to go on with salaries? Are we going to be able to bring in new officers? We need to work on that. If you want to do that, your other alternative to not fixing your own police department is going with Whiteside County Dispatch. Those are basically your only options.
I personally think that we would want to keep our police department here and active and do what we can to maintain it. I think our community would want that. I think it's to all of our benefit to make that happen if we can.
You owe it to our community to make sure this happens.
Absolutely.
That's what we need to know, because if that's what you want to do and not go with Whiteside County, then you're gonna have to sit down, your finance committee, your police department, when you go into your budgets in January, and you're gonna have to find the money. Now, I do believe you're going to find that during negotiations, you're gonna have to come up with some bigger money for salaries. And I don't mean $2 or $3 an hour, because they need to be brought up to what other communities are giving their officers. Seeing that raise, if you're looking for a vehicle, you're looking at maybe dispatching fees of $120,000 a year. But we came up, Chief Nebling and myself, you're probably going to have to come up with anywhere between $300,000 and $350,000 that we do not have budgeted. So you're either gonna have to reconstruct cannabis funds, you're possibly gonna have to reconstruct some video gaming, and possibly you're to get them up to par, you're gonna have to dip into some general fund reserves. Those are my suggestions. But I won't be here after the end of the year. But keep it in mind for your budget hearings and your meetings.
The finance committee, I know, is meeting again in December before Tammy leaves. And our hope is that her and Nick will join us in that. We can come to some conclusions on some areas that we can pull these funds from to make this obtainable, to do the market adjustment that we need to do, and look to see what the next couple of years are gonna bring. So as we look forward into the budget in the future for next year, we have a bond that paid off. We have some other things that will allow us to maintain these increases as we do that. So it's just gonna be a matter of nailing down exactly where those are coming from, and then obviously we bring them here for approval, so.
And Mayor Pro Tem, you have your whole police department here.
I see.
Maybe does any of the older persons want to ask them any questions? It's not too often you find them all in one room.
Pretty easy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in your opinion, it's, I mean, Fulton needs a police department. What would the ideal number of police officers be for you guys?
No, just kidding.
To run.
We'll start high, we'll work our way down.
Within reason.
It's where we bargain, right? Is that back and forth?
Well, within reason, like Matt and I, we've been talking, and as you know, we've been in academy. It has been like death by PowerPoint. We've watched so many body cam videos and videos of this and videos of that. Just having 2 officers on makes a huge difference, especially when you respond to your domestics or your suspicious people. And, you know, if we're out and about and we get that type of call, we have to call Whiteside. What if he's way out on Meridosha? We're sitting there waiting that 10, 15, 20 minutes, you know, not only putting us in danger, but also whoever we're going to go help. So.
I'll take the second one. You know, to answer that question, what is enough that, you know, the 24 and a half years, I'm the senior person out of everybody. In my 24 and a half years, the highest that we ever had in manpower is 9. After Chief and Ethan are gone, you know, we're gonna be down to 3 with 2 trainees, so 5 of us. I think that everybody that has worked on the department, obviously with me being in the school, I don't wanna say I don't count, but I don't count. You know, I really don't count. So at that point, having 4 officers, the 2 sergeants, lieutenant and chief, was the most productive that we had. You know, frankly, anything less than that is kind of a disservice to our citizens. You know, right now, obviously, it's not hard to figure out we're completely reactive. You know, when we were at the 9-man department, with me being in the 8, at least we were able to function, get stuff accomplished, be a little more proactive, feel like we're actually doing a positive for the city, the community, the citizens. So I think that at that point, you know, would anybody love to have 10, 12 officers at their disposal? Because once again, like right now, you know, not picking on Dwayne and Ben and myself, but we're all getting older. You know, I made the statement the other day, hey, for the next till April, nobody can get sick or hurt. I wasn't trying to be funny with that, but I mean, there's concerns with that, you know, I mean, Dwayne being the oldest by far, and, you know, there's concerns. And, but I think if you wanted a number to say, hey, what should we shoot for? I think we should shoot for the 9. That's, you know, if you wanted a goal to look at.
Counting you or not counting?
Not counting me.
Okay. So
Yeah, I don't count.
Yeah, you
So,
don't count.
8, me, myself being the 9th, 8 officers, you know, the structure, chief, lieutenant, 2 sergeants, 4 officers. That is when we're at their top capacity. We're able to get investigations completed. We're able to be proactive, have 2 officers on. That is what is safest for the officers and the community.
I appreciate that input. And I wonder if we can't come up with like a progressive plan, like maybe we can't get 9 employed, you know, by the end of next year, but maybe over 2 years or something like that we can, but we understand it's an immediate need to get some back in here so that the schedule lightens for you guys and you're not, you know, burnout or having safety issues or putting yourself in, you know, unsafe positions because it's only 1 officer versus where it could be 2 normally and that type of thing. We certainly want to take all that into consideration.
That's for you guys to decide.
Yeah, no, I'm saying.
I mean, you guys, you know, that's in your ballpark. When we get to the negotiating table, we'll talk about safety and stuff like that.
The only caveat I'll add, and this is the only thing I'll add to this conversation, is the International Chiefs of Police, and you can find slightly skewed statistics left or right. The International Chiefs of Police recommends 3.4 officers per every 1,000 residents.
Well, and I guess I'll just take a moment here to thank those of you that have been putting in the extra hours and extra time and despite family time and sleep and all the other basic needs that we have. So I do appreciate each one of you taking the time to do that for our community. Please know that it's appreciated. And those of you that are remaining with us, I hope that you will for a long term. And we're certainly going to try to do what we can to maintain that. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you.
With the amount of hours that you guys are putting in, please be safe.
Anything else you want to add to that, Chief? No. All right. I'm going to backtrack one to the marina. We recently had a marina survey done to kind of show us what area that we actually own. So the discussion was, should we be moving this forward now to an appraisal to figure out that value in case we decided to entertain any sales opportunities?
How do you think of the appraisal?
Go ahead with the appraisal.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did see our, the survey came in right around 4,500, which maybe seems like a lot of money, but I was actually expecting about 8,000. So I think that worked out well. It is in 5 different parcels, as you can see. We had to separate out the sewer treatment plant and one ball field along with the other 3. So we will go ahead and get an appraisal going for everything. And I do believe that they'll appraise each individual one, and maybe we'll get one as a whole too.
That'd be great.
Except excluding the treatment plant. So,
Yeah.
That one's not gonna be for,
yeah, no, can't get rid of that.
Anything else on that topic?
it was just that at one time we had an assisted living company, or Tammy probably remember that, somebody wanted that, that land at that point to build an assisted living, and we had land otherwise, and that company wouldn't look at anything else but that. So hopefully there's another one out there that will post that for sale. That would be, losing Harbor Crest was a real loss to us, so if we could capture another assisted living, that would be a nice place. At least one to look at.
April 1st, 2025 election. Explain the lottery process and candidates who have filed petitions. Tori?
Yep, According to the IML and the Illinois State Board of Elections, we have 2 or more candidates come in to pick up their papers and file for the first hour, which in our hours was 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. They are considered simultaneous petitioners. So we had that happen. We haven't had to do this for a long time according to Tammy, but this year we did. In alphabetical order, we had Keith King and Shane Malone come in within that first hour. Therefore, they are considered simultaneous voters, and we need to do a lottery to decide who will be on the ballot, whose name is going to be listed first. It also works the same way if someone would have come in the last hour of that same day, we would have had to do a lottery and see who would be last name under the name. So with that being said, we're going to hold that lottery tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Very simple. We'll just be drawing candidate 1, candidate 2, and see who's on the ballot first. So that isn't too difficult. So then for the election, which is going to be held April 1st, for mayor, like I said, we have running is Keith King, Shane Malone. City clerk, I'm running, Tori Wade. We have no one for Ward 1. Mindy Burgraff is running for Ward 2, Sue Van Kampen, Ward 3, and Kathy Sewell for Ward 4. So all the formalities for now are done, so we'll just wait for April 1st.
Do the 2 candidates have to be present in the morning when they draw?
They don't have to be, but I heard from both of them that they will be.
Is there simply a benefit to being the first listed on the ballot?
What we kind of learned at the conference was a lot of people, if they don't know either one of the candidates, they'll circle or vote the first one.
Sure. Okay. Makes sense. All right. Garbage issues. A citizen didn't get their trash picked up last week and they called every day and it didn't get resolved until the day before the next pickup.
They were late last week, or was that 2 weeks ago?
Wednesday.
And there wasn't like a holiday or anything, they just didn't come on time.
You know, what do we tell the citizens of the town to do other than call them, which they have been doing?
Mm-hmm.
Was there any recourse? You know, I know it's probably $3 a pickup, but do we offer them the $3 back for the missed pickup?
According to our contract, we cannot.
Well, us as a city.
Well, but we don't make hardly a dime on that garbage.
Correct.
So that would be, so where are you gonna pull it from?
Yeah.
I mean,
Can of worms there.
You do it for one and then don't do it for somebody else.
Did you have a lot of complaints, or was that isolated with the?
It's usually about once a month. There's
Yeah.
They
The
go
same
they go to
people
Facebook with it.
yeah.
Are the same people getting missed?
No, it's different.
Yeah, they missed mine.
Corey, do you want to speak to this?
There is a lot of complaints on garbage pickup, and I give them the number to call, and sometimes it goes to they haven't been picked up for 3 weeks, or then I email above, you know, them, but
I think when it comes to, when they actually get in touch with Corey, instead of just like this, when they get in touch with Corey here, she takes care of it.
yes.
So people need to be vigilant in calling us instead of social media, instead of just talking about it. Call us and we can get it resolved for them. Correct?
Yeah,
We have a
usually,
pretty good line of communication.
usually, yes, usually Scott is really good about but giving them money back, I know that was a big issue when we first started here, and that was something that we can't
The
do.
bad part is like on Fridays, our trash is never picked up at the same time. So it might not be till late Friday afternoon after you guys have gone that we find out they didn't pick it up. When I talked to them last week, they said they were, he had said he was gonna work on it to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And I told them I'd be in contact with them every time they're missing. To me, I told them it was unacceptable. It needs to be fixed. You know, we're paying them to do this, then they need to be doing their job.
Yeah, the citizens are paying for a service that's not
Yeah.
taking place. So
Well,
they're,
unfortunately, there's no one else to hire, so they gotta.
That's- yeah,
There
we're stuck
is,
between a
and
rock.
Eric and I have talked to another company, but we're in a contract and we really can't get out of it until 2027.
I know there was one down by me on 15th, I think you know. They were complaining, they complained to me, but their problem was they had bags of garbage sitting down beside the can. Well, they're not
They're
gonna
not
get
gonna
out of the
take the
truck
bags,
and
no.
pick that up.
Yeah.
No, I
But
said,
if they miss the trash, where are they gonna go with their trash?
That's the problem, is that we have
Right, they
people doing
emptied the
that,
can, but they
trying
didn't
to
get out
stick
and
it on
pick it
top
up.
to get picked up because they didn't pick it up 2 weeks before, or a week before that. That's where the problem's been coming. But now some of them do get out of the truck and pick them up.
Well, if we knew
I had a
that,
neighbor that had that problem, and they stopped and picked up every bag she had.
if they would call and say to Corey, my garbage hasn't been picked up in 3 weeks, I got extra. Corey would at least have that information to let the manager know and say, you know, you gotta pick up those extra bags. But if we don't know that information here, we can't relate, you know.
We'll pass that along to let Corey know if they call down here, so.
Yeah, we could add that extra layer of customer service through Corey, but ultimately, I think when they came to speak to us in March, was it? After that big snowstorm and we had a lot of issue, they mentioned the app and making sure that they had your phone number and things like that for any inclement weather issues and things like that, and to call them back if they miss and they would come back around on the next route. I know that's not great, but at least it's something.
Well, and the thing is that we haven't had any inclement weather.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, I watched them go down the street and pick up the garbage across the street from my house. And then never pick ours up on this side of the street, the other side of the street. You know, I don't know the rhyme or reason how they go up and down the streets, but.
They do that on 8th Street too. There might be 4 or 5 hours difference.
Yeah. Yeah, usually
One side or the other.
they catch the east side of the street of 8th Street early in the morning. And it's usually in the afternoon when they get to the west side of it. I don't know how to do it. And then sometimes I get behind and just skip it. Cause it's usually the west side that doesn't get picked up. So.
I think all we can do at this point is track it and let them know.
And use that as a way to get out of the contract?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is I know the contract's binding up until 2027, but isn't there any provision that if the service is poor? No.
No, we're supposed to contact him, and he made that clear when he was out at the cattail when we had him there.
Yeah.
You know, they can fix the problem or try to come back with the garbage, but he told us there is no refunding, and it is in the contract, no refunding.
I get the no refunding. Just out of getting out of the contract if the service is continually poor. But what other options do we have?
I'm sure there's nothing.
I don't think you have any options until 2027.
Are
Maybe something we
there,
look at the next time we sign a contract.
are there any other garbage services even around?
Yes. Yes.
Will we remove the fee from the water bill if they choose to go to a different service?
That's a good question.
That you would have to change your ordinance. Your ordinance states that any resident here in town, whether they use the service or not, gets billed for the service.
I'm gonna assume that anyone else that comes in to try to take that trash is gonna be more expensive than what they're currently paying, so that might sway them from going.
Not necessarily.
At the time we just had the talk with Green and Clean.
Green and Clean.
They were very reasonable.
The only thing I will say to allowing people to opt out, then you get 20 different companies coming in, all have different pickup days from our original pickup day that's been scheduled. That's why the ordinance states we don't let you opt out of it, so we don't have 100 different garbage companies flooding the area and everybody's garbage gets picked up on a different day. You know, cause some garbage companies will have it, oh, just put the bag out. Well, then now we have that issue that's arising with bags littered all over town. And so this makes it easier for us to police. that, okay, trash pickups, what's Thursday and Friday right now, and it makes it easier on us trying to enforce it.
Could we change the ordinance just saying, hey, yeah, you can choose another service, but they gotta pick up Thursday or Friday, and
Probably if they've already got a set route in another town.
Well, and we're already in a contract with the set amount, so anything we start losing, well, now you gotta figure out a way to pay for it because we're already in a structured contract.
Do any municipalities our size have their own pickup service within their public works department?
Not that I'm aware of. Savannah was the last one that used to, and they have Republic. Well, they started with Mooring, but now it's Republic.
What are you
Well,
talking,
Warren
the
was
city
just a
picks
better
it
deal
up?
for us, you know, I mean, we got spoiled there.
Yes.
Clinton picks up their own.
Yep.
Oh, do they?
But they're also a lot
Right.
bigger
Lot bigger
still.
than we are.
Well, it sounds like if we can't get out of the contract, we'll just have to keep that in mind as we negotiate.
Right, cause I've had to
27.
tell some of them they're putting them in the wrong trash bin for recycling. And no, you gotta go in this one. What's the difference? Well, that one's a tan one, this one's a dark one. That's your garbage and this is your recycling. So,
I think there's routes and the drivers, there's some communication gaps there, cause I'm on 10th, so we split like what day you get picked up on. We could just set ours out Wednesday night or Thursday night and it gets picked up one day or the other. I mean, so they're picking up just whatever's sitting out there on those days, you know, so I think there's some communication issues with the drivers as well. So anyhow, all right, moving on to committee reports.
So the message here is that we continue to encourage our constituents to call
Reach out to
Cory so she can at least track if there's a fixed area.
Parks and Rec, any questions on that report?
with this, landscaping, I thought they got, a grant.
You did, it's $800. So we are asking, which I don't know if it's stated in here, I'm supposed to actually speak to this. Carrie asked me to speak, I can't remember what was in the email here. That the Fulton Fun Crew would pay $1,000 because we got that $800 grant. And we'd make up the other two with fund, money that's in our account. And then was asking if the city would consider the balance of $4,000 so that we can put in the landscaping. The pictures here are from Spangler. They did a nice variety of different bushes that flower and whatnot. Easy maintenance was also one of the criteria that we asked when they picked things out. So total cost is the edging and the plants and the labor and everything. So for right about $5,200, I think was around the total. So.
Any warranty on them or anything?
You know, that isn't listed, but I personally have worked with Spanglers and they've been good about if something, you know, dies out within a year, they'll come and they'll replace it. They're just a reputable business like that. Carrie also wanted me to remind council, city, that the Kiwanis did the generous donation of $35,000 to the project, and that there should probably be like a naming of the band shell with signage and
I agree with that.
all of that. So, our thought too with the landscaping, that maybe a sign could be planted or whatever, put in the landscaping that kind of states the thank you or recognition to the Kiwanis, and then a sign that maybe could be mounted up above on the top of the band shell or something.
I always have a question about who's going to take care of it, because we have a group of people in Fulton, volunteers, who tend to the city-owned properties. And I think they were asked maybe to do one earlier and felt they had enough. So who's going to take care of those, especially in the summer when it's hot and need to be watered?
I don't think any of them are meant to need, I mean, they're perennials. So they should be able to just kind of come up and do their thing and die out. There might be a little bit of maintenance, but they're not supposed to be, they're low maintenance plants, what they picked.
It could be in the sun.
And they are appropriate by where they're planted with shade and sun and all of that. And I can tell half of this that I have in my yard, and I can tell you I don't do anything to them. Or minimal, I should say.
Well, what I would suggest, if you are contemplating this, I don't think they would get planting until next April or May. We should have, your video gaming, which is for your parks, up a little bit. And then maybe budget it in there when you're in your budget session to come out of that.
Or is it possible that we could vote for it now and it could be taken out because the budget wouldn't start till May?
No, because we already did the lighting for up there. And the sidewalks, that wasn't budgeted, and we went ahead and paid that.
But there's still money there. I mean, we've not
Yeah,
depleted the
there's-
account. I
there's-
mean,
there's-
it's $4,000.
there's
I'm not
still
asking
money
for
there.
a lot, but I mean,
I like Tammy's suggestion that we talk
There's
about it,
still
budget,
money there.
budget, yeah.
If you know what, you can vote on it. You can vote next time to put $4,000 into next year budget for video gaming, and then you would have a guarantee.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it until.
Yeah,
next
because
year's
we just
budget.
talked about.
So at least you could say, yes, it's been voted on, but you can't get
No,
your
it
money until
budgeted.
after May 1.
It was
and that would
budgeted.
be fine, cause it would probably not get planted until April anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, we do have at the minimum 3 events there, and it is
Right.
in the
I
public's eye,
understand.
and just to pretty it up a little bit.
Yep.
So would you like it on for next, to vote on it to be budgeted for next year?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Good suggestion, thank you, Tammy. All right, moving us on down to the Historical Society report. Any questions on that?
We had a program last week, the national, the president of the Lincoln Highway Association on the national level came. It's a great program. We've talked about the Lincoln Highway here, but this one was taking us all the way from New York, all the way out to California. Pictures, and it was a great program. We had a full house, and so it's just another great day for us.
Great, thank you, Barb. Business managers report, Tammy.
Eric came. Did you put that in your report?
I didn't, no.
Oh,
Photo with you
I didn't
and Barb.
mention it because I thought Eric would say what a wonderful time, but he made his annual visit with us at our
There you go.
meeting the other day, and so he saw the property inside and outside, and yeah, so we were glad he came, and
Thanks, Eric. All right, moving on to the business managers report. We can skip over this one. What do you think, Tammy?
As you can see, you have my letter of resignation. That's my final day. It's the ending of the pay period, will be January 3rd. I had to give 30 days because it is retirement versus a regular leaving, which is 2 weeks. So, there you have it.
happy retirement.
Yeah. Thank you for staying on the additional year.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Don't think we're gonna lose your phone number, because we're not.
No, that's okay. Did I ever think I would be leaving with a chief leaving, a mayor leaving, losing police officers, and a bunch of other things? No, because I thought financially, we've achieved a lot in the last couple of years. And I think the city of Fulton has benefited from a new park. We have benefited, unfortunately, for this new building that we're blessed with, your council chambers.
It's healthy. I
Yes.
know, I mean, we had to do it, so it's good.
I think tonight we're streaming for the first time,
Oh,
so wave everybody.
Where's the camera? There?
Yeah.
Both, there, both sides.
But I do thank you for all the opportunities that you have given me in almost 19 years. I started out front and now I'm in the back room. So I thank you, and it was a blessing. I've always appreciated my job, very much so.
Well, thank you.
Very much appreciated, Tammy, thank you.
It's gonna be bittersweet, but thank you. So,
Next up is the Community Service Officer Report. Well done, Adam, thank you for your work on that.
And I was just chatting with a little bit about the new regulations that start in January. You already completed your training class?
It's in the process.
Oh, you're doing it
But
now?
by the time January 1st comes around, I will have all the training done.
And do you want to share with everybody else just a little bit what that is?
Well, it's just all the tests that you have to take for the certification for the property maintenance code, so it deals with that, the zoning, residential code, different stuff like that, so it's a proctored test that I have to take, and I've taken all the practice tests and I have passed them, so it's just coming down to that last one, so I'm hoping to do that next couple weeks.
So these new codes that are coming in on, particularly on our older buildings, do you go in just and inspect, or do you wait until there's a problem and then you get involved?
I mean, I guess it depends on how we kind of want to go at it, but I think for now, what I was going to do is like how they say, like in plain view, like if I see something out and about, I can address it, and of course, at that point, then I can make contact and see if, hey, we see stuff on the outside, let me come inside and take a peek. Then I'm gonna get with all the landlords and say, hey, I want a list of all your properties that you have, and let's just have it be in good graces with each other, let me have a look at them all and make sure you guys are up to code and stuff like that, so.
So you'll do some kind of a survey to.
Yeah, like I said, it's brand new, so we'll see how it goes, they can always be tweaked.
Well, we've been told how rigid those codes are gonna be coming then.
Yeah.
The intent with rental inspections was to not take that large bite the first year, because there's a lot of aspects of this that he's still learning and building up. But and again, it was a recommendation months ago, is for the city to evaluate rental inspections as an ordinance, but not immediately. With the International Property Maintenance Code, he does have the opportunity to get into rental units if the tenant calls and invites him in, to look at a situation or an issue. Landlords can still say, we don't want you in there yet. Now that would again be the topic of conversation and proceeding forward with, the multiple phases of introducing these type of situations here in town, so.
But if a renter, Adam, has a problem, they can call you.
Get hold of me,
And then you intervene and say
Yep,
they have to
address
bring,
it.
okay. Learned a lot with that building falling down in Davenport
Yeah.
about complaining for.
Do we have a date on the 12th Avenue house yet, or not yet?
Well, I have, let's see, because the Community State Bank doesn't want anything to do with it anymore, so it falls back on the Buenos. I sent out the 15-day letter to them to say you have 15 days from the date of receiving that letter to either demolish it or make it safe, and that date with the holidays is like December 4th, so they have that to respond, and after that, it's more or less getting with Rebecca to see what we have to do as far as us on the city side. But it needs to come down.
How did the bank lost interest in it?
I'm not sure. And she didn't really explain much in it, other than just saying that we've cut all ties from
Well,
it.
depending on the balance and things like that, it could have been not worth the
Costs too much money, and if they would have to tear it down.
Yeah.
That's how we've gotten several pieces of property here in town.
Okay.
Made a
But then
park
it's
out of
our,
one.
but then it's the city's expense to take it down.
What about the property that was just torn down then this past week?
The Bruin property on 12th Avenue and 4th Street.
Yeah. So that's privately owned, right? And they took that down?
Yep, he paid for it. Yeah.
That wasn't one of our oldest either. I mean, that's a 1910 building compared to some of the other ones we have. It's not old.
That entire block's almost gonna be
So Ben, are you expanding next?
What's that?
Are you expanding then to the space?
Depends on the price of the property.
That's what I thought you'd say.
But I did speak with the demo crew this morning. They intend on having that finished up by next Monday.
Okay.
So they had a little issue with
Change
one of
that
their trucks
scenery
last
there.
week, which put it behind.
Just a little, just a minor issue.
But I spoke with him this morning, and he did say that they intend to be done by Monday, so. I know
Were you a little nervous that it was gonna come down in your building,
yeah, there's a little bit of nervousness there, but he did what he needed to do and it dropped straight down. But I mean, I can't say that building was about ready to fall down because he barely touched it in a couple spots and it just powdered it.
That's just what's happened when they rent. They
They did a good job. They kept everything contained, did what they needed to do, and it was down in 45 minutes.
What happened with those windows that they had?
Mike took the stained glass windows out.
Oh, good, okay, I'm glad they got saved. They were
Yeah,
nice.
they were up there, I think, the day before taking them out.
Yeah, that's good. They were nice.
All right, we need a motion to go into closed session.
Okay.
Next one.
Not tonight, tomorrow night.
Yes.
No, not tomorrow night.
I didn't read. And then they play again.
But I wasn't sure if it was gonna work.
Jamie's 5:30.
And it has to be able to back.
Yep, you
Are
don't.
we sure the cameras are off?
Yep, it will be.
Or varsity, whatever, just. Oh, yeah, sounds like.